Yo, what's going on, man? It's Zupa, Curva Joseph, man. Hey, you listening to the Honolulu Blues. You hear me?
Welcome back, everybody.
What up?
We got the full trio today, like I promised you all yesterday. I don't even know if you guys noticed, but I did do a little solo podcast, so went pretty good. Actually. Yeah. So did a little talking about the Packers game, just touched on a couple things, but nonetheless,
not the first time Adam's gone solo, if you know what I mean.
Nick with the low hanging jokes. Had to, and I would have said it too. All right, we got not a whole lot to talk about, but a lot about the individual topics, and that being the Packers, the Bears, what to expect, what the hell happened against that Packers game, and of course, we're gonna talk a little Tigers to start the show. So Detroit Tigers, we are stomping on the Yankees. After I've been tweeting this out, after we went down 0-2 in not yesterday, but Tuesday's game. Yes, Tuesday's game. Tigers were down 0-2, then proceeded to rally off 12 runs, beating them 12-2. Then we won 11-1. So that's 23-1 run against the New York Yankees, a team that has, championship caliber. First time ever in Yankees history, they lost back-to-back games by 10-plus runs. Kind of one of those crazy baseball stats where if you really think about it, it's not that crazy, but it is the Yankees. So it is cool to have the Tigers associated with that stat line. So, Nick, one of our big Tigers experts, give me some of your thoughts. Is this team, are we back? Are we fully back? Or are we still needing a little extra, something?
Don't need a little bit of extra something. The Tigers right now just need to play Tigers baseball. I like the way that AJ Hinch put it before this series. He said, we need to get back to just winning every series. And the way I like to think about that is you shouldn't be thinking about how your streak is going or what you're doing on like an everyday basis type of thing. Like, I know you need to play baseball every day, but you should be thinking 3 games at a time. Win every series. This is what gets you into a playoff momentum when you're already in the playoffs. Like, the Tigers' magic number is 8. We have pretty much locked up the AL Central, knock on wood. But I mean, if we lose this division, then it's the most colossal fail of all time. Like, it's just almost unfathomable. So what we need to do is get prepared to play baseball. We cannot go into the playoffs cold, especially if we don't play in the wild card round. If we get a top 2 seed and we wait and we sit for a week, we all know what happens to the Tigers when the Tigers sit, whether it's 2006 or 2012 or whatever it may be. Last year we got hot, we kept playing, we kept winning. That's how you win in baseball. So I don't think we need to add anything. I don't even think we're back because I don't even think we were ever gone. It was just baseball. It's 162 games. You're going to lose some. You're going to lose some, within, like, you're going to be a 500 team. We were still the best team in the AL throughout the entire, dreadful stretch that we went through. So I am not worried. I don't even think we're back because we've always been here. We're still the best team in the American League. We're the best team in Detroit right now. So I have the utmost confidence that we are World Series bound, and I could talk about the Tigers all day, but I'll shut up now and I'll let Julius talk a little.
Julius out there in Germany, must be a struggle to catch some of these, 7 p.m. games, but I'm sure you've been hearing it. So,
oh, for sure. And I almost catch none of those 7 p.m. games, but luckily they do play baseball on the weekends. Usually in those afternoon games, I catch almost all of them. So I would say I've watched like 40 games this year, which is great. It's great to catch the Tigers. I think they got their division locked up as well. I just want to shout out two guys, Jack Flattery and Casey Mize, who I was worried about was going to sink our chances of glory this year. They bounced back in the last couple of starts, so that's encouraging. It's going to take a colossal downtrodden collapse for this to go wrong, and that's not going to happen. Just waiting for the clinch, staying healthy, and hope that we got enough dogs in the fight for the playoffs.
Yeah, most definitely. Mize and Flaherty have been kind of, doing a little better. They were struggling a minute. Mize, for some reason, we always just win when he starts. He's got, I think, an 18-7 record in the last year and this year, which is pretty good. But yeah, it's been going good for the Tigers. Hopefully, we can get the sweep against the Yankees tonight. Is it a 4-game series or 3? 3?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So
bring the brooms out. Hills Kevin over here is like 7 p.m. games are easy. Julius, what are you doing? Who cares if you're out in Germany and it's 2 a.m. for you, man? They're easy, brother. They're easy.
It's those A's. It's those A's and Mariners games. It's hard for him to catch.
Yeah, dude. When I was 21, those were the best games to watch. When I'm 35, I hate the 10 o'clock games. I am not staying up for them, dude.
Yeah,
baseball.
It's always tough when the Tigers are on super late. Even hell.
Wow, dude, hold on. Julius has nothing. Julius, you need to get your stuff in order.
Keyword in that comment, my guy, is from. He
Okay.
probably got a lifelong experience of staying up till 5 a.m. to watch baseball. I just don't.
That's true. The body is more adjusted when you're from Germany. Not right. All right, that's fun. Way to jump in, Hills Kevin. We appreciate you, man.
All right, let's talk a little injury news. The Lions practice report came out today, boys, about an hour ago. Things are trending up. We saw yesterday Jack Campbell and Taylor Decker no practice, which was concerning. Jack Campbell full practice. Terrion also has practiced in full the last 2 days, so he's 100%. But Taylor Decker did not practice today for the second straight day. This offensive line is shaky. I know Decker hasn't really been playing his been one game, but he didn't look like vintage Decker. It did look like he was slowing down a bit. But nonetheless, I would like him there as a left tackle, a veteran left tackle. We need him despite if he's having a down year or not. I'm not even sure. Would it be Penny would probably slide over? We would call up Skip or what do you think?
No, Skip would take over left tackle.
Really? You think? Okay.
But Johnny Morton already came out and said that he's expected to play.
Which hopeful it's just not a little smoke screen towards the Bears. But nonetheless, everyone was full in practice. The only other two guys, Trevor Nowski, limited practice back-to-back days, and Sione Vaki, limited practice in back-to-back days. So, finally the injury reports are looking reasonable for us as opposed to last year where it was no practice for 6 dudes, one guy already ruled out, 3 guys questionable. So Lions looking better.
We love the week 1 and 2 injury reports. That is for sure. Especially after last year's. I still have PTSD when they come out with an injury report. I'm just waiting for like half the team to be on there and maybe like, oh, I didn't even notice. Decker should play. Skip not practicing. Decker not practicing. Sounds like Giovanni Manu was getting the reps at left tackle. So even if Decker and Skip were to get injured during the game or not play, I still think it'd be Manu playing at left tackle and keeping Penny where he is. Speaking of Sewell, he was in there with your Decker comment. I would say it did not look like vintage Sewell. Something with that offensive line needs to be addressed. I think Hank Fraley knows it. If you watched his presser, he was adamant about we're going to fix this. We're going to get to a conclusion. He's not worried about Tate. Tate looks good. Even though he may not have in week 1, they say they know what he can do via practice. So it's just going to take time. We need Decker though. We need everyone, in my opinion.
Absolutely. It wasn't just, Hank Fraley, Johnny Morton, John Morton, I guess.
I know I'm used to saying Johnny.
Yeah. Addressing the Lions media. Calvin Shepard Did you guys see this? He got the juices flowing, man. He really has made me confident and belief in him just off of this one little 2-3 minute press conference. He essentially broke down the Packers, and if you really looked into it, outside of like that first drive and a couple plays, he said the Lions defense kind of did enough. So granted, we let up 27 points, and it seemed like Love was having his way, but the Packers, they're a tough team, and the Lions, we have been able to handle them in the past, but Thanksgiving, perfect example, a year or two ago when they kind of just dominated us. So the Packers, I think it will. I was prepared to run through a brick wall as well, Kevin. Shout out for being a G in the chats, especially with the Manu call as well. But let's dive into this Packers game because there was a lot. So, Julius, if you could pick the top concern in this game, coordinators, offensive line, running backs, whatever, what would you say?
Number one concern has to be the offensive line. I mean, it's just such a drastic turnover in performance from last season to now. I mean, we talk about PTSD from injuries. That didn't include the offensive line. The offensive line stayed intact, stayed dominant the entire season from start to finish, all the way to our disappointing loss to the Commanders. So to go into this season to have one of the worst offensive line performances in the league right off the bat is very, very, very concerning, especially our quarterback is Jared Goff, who I believe is only a good quarterback with the top 5 offensive line or top 5 pass blocking offensive line. If the pocket is going to collapse around him or through the inside, 50% of plays, they're going to have a hard time. If they cannot run the ball up the middle, what are we? Are we a winning team? That's the question. So offensive line, they just have to. I know they got the talent. Tate Ratledge, I know he got the talent. Christian Mahogany, we saw him ball out last year. We know he can do it. Even Giovanni Manu, which terrifies me to think of adding his inexperience to Ratledge and Mahogany. What would that do? They all have the talent to make it happen. Hank Fraley and Dan Campbell, they either gonna bring forth that talent and save our season, or we're gonna have a big disappointment because of our offensive line, particularly.
Yeah, 100%. The O-line was brutal. We saw, if you want to, look, take it for what it is. PFF grades, they graded. Glasgow was like 43. Penne was like a 53. What was the other one? Mahogany. That's what it was. Mahogany wasn't good either. So not the best. And then Ratledge surprisingly didn't make the bottom of the list. He probably just edged out. Ratledge didn't execute well either. There was a couple plays. I want to say Decker talked about it, that they just weren't on the same page. There was one. It was the one right on the goal line when the Lions got the ball on the 1 yard line. Goff takes the sack. It's a damn near safety, but he, falls to the 1 yard line. And then we run Monty right up the middle. And there's just a wide open hole, but they're blitzing. The Packers are coming right through it. And it was just kind of miscommunication. It's just little things that needs to get cleaned up. And I think if we could just fix some of these little things, it's going to go a long way for this Bears game. So my top concern, I would agree, it was offensive line. But if I didn't say offensive line, I would go defensive line. The lack of pressure was concerning. We saw Aiden Hutchinson dropping into pass coverage. Davenport dropped the pass coverage. Hutch touched on it a bit and basically said, yeah, I don't think that's going to happen again, or I don't want it to happen again, because when they dropped Hutch, he was in straight up no man's land guarding air, and they threw, a 20-yard, 15-yard touchdown pass to Tucker Kraft. So, Nick, can't choose any of the line. What went wrong?
Ooh, I would definitely go defensive line first, offensive line second. Real quick before I get into answering that, let's just jump on what Julius was talking about, which was Jared Goff. If you look at some advanced stats, what we got from week 1, red zone attempts, 10 from Jared Goff. We were in the red zone. I am not that worried about our offense. We matriculated the ball down the field very well. Not very well, just well enough. Outside of red zone errors or interceptions, this game could have been 21-17 right after the first drive of the second half. Like we were not shooting ourselves in the foot that much. Now, this wasn't the offense that we're used to, but we have to understand that Ben Johnson is gone and Morton isn't going to run an offense like that quite yet. Just like St. Brown said on his podcast, it took time for Ben Johnson to become who he is today. It's going to take time for Morton and the team to just kind of get collectively on the same page. However, again, staying with Jared Goff's stats, let's look at where did I find this? Oh, no, I lost it. He was number 2, and I can't even find it anymore, in pressured pass attempts with something amount. I can't remember exactly what it is now because I'm doing too many things in one time. Pressured throws, there we go. Number 1.
Packers had 20 quarterback pressures.
They had, according to Player Profiler, they had 13 pressures, and that is the most against any quarterback in week 1. And there's some more stats we could continue to go down the line. But like Julius was saying, Jared Goff under pressure, he's honestly, he stands in the pocket. He has grown up. He can stand in the pocket and he can throw the ball well. But when you do that over and over and over, he starts to get rattled. It is the second half that we start to see that kind of show, in my opinion, because he's been hit extra amount of times. But he can take a hit. We saw him take the hit against Louvu last year and whatnot. Like, he can take a hit and get back up. We just can't allow that much pressure. That offensive line was dreadful. Defensive line was even worse, in my opinion. And as much as Shep made me believe in our defense, no. The only reason they only had 188 passing yards is because they were up 17-3 at halftime and knew that the Lions could not move the ball against them. There was no need to pass that ball, so they started feeding Josh Jacobs. If this was 21-17 at the end of the first drive of the third quarter Lions, they would have a lot more than 188 passing yards. Do not let Kelvin Shepherd get into your brain and be like, we were just fine. They would have only had 130 passing yards if we would have just stopped 2 passes. Well, we didn't stop those 2 passes, and it would have been a lot more. They didn't need to pass the ball because we didn't even score a touchdown. We got one garbage time T-Slaw touch. It was an amazing catch, but that touchdown shouldn't even count. It just shouldn't. Like, the Lions didn't deserve it. We should have had our touchdown game streak. We should have had our streak broken. We should have had it broken. We didn't deserve to have a touchdown that game. We looked like a 5th grade team going in. We looked like South Park when they went and tried to play the Red Wings, if you guys know what I'm talking about. That's what we looked like. So I'm not going to buy into Shep right now. I need to see that before I believe that. And stopping a mobile quarterback is a great way to prove to me that he is a capable defense coordinator and our defense is a capable defense. Long-winded answer. I'm going to keep it short now. If I had to pick something, then I would just say the quarterback play has got to be better. Jared Goff, even with pressure, even if we're calling checkdowns, even if this is what the scheme is because they have Parsons and we couldn't hold the ball long, Jared Goff has to be better. Like, I know he went 31 for 39, but that's not the fact of the matter. Be a better leader. Do not throw an interception in the red zone when we're trailing in Lambeau Field in a divisional game. But it's just tough to win in division. We went 6-0 last year, right? Like, we knew we were going to lose the divisional game this year. We probably might even lose another. So it's like, we just got to we got to tread water, like Dan Campbell said in 2021. We got to get into the playoffs at 10-7. It'll be a season that none of us remember. The regular season, none of us remember. But if we make the playoff special, then we'll always remember it. You know what I mean?
Exactly right. Yeah. Regular season only, matters to a certain extent. Last year, perfect example, went 15-2. Everyone's like, that was a bad season. That wasn't a good season. We got knocked out first round. So
by a team that went 3-8, I believe, to start the season, and then won like 7 games in a row or 6 games in a row to get to 9-8 into the playoffs, won the first round, then beat us, and was on the cusp of beating Philly. So it's like, you just got to get hot at the right times, how all sports are.
Yeah, 100%. And then Goff, there was a lot of plays where, you know, some of the play schemes weren't exactly there. I know there's a bunch of aerial shots of, you know, the guys running routes, and everyone was covered. But Jared Goff, as our quarterback, man, I need you to take risks. I need you to take chances when we're down 17-6, you know, I think 24-6 or whatever.
I saw that guy throw 5 interceptions against Houston last year. Don't tell me he don't know how to whip that ball down the field if pressure's on and in a game where we need to throw the ball. Throw the ball to J-Mo. He just got paid. You tell me he wasn't on the stars coming into that game. Get him the ball. What do you have? 2 catches, 3 targets, something like that? Like, egregious, dude. It's terrible. Bad play calling, though. Bad scheming. We ended up getting the ball down the field, like I said, but you need to be better in the red zone. I wish T-Slaw wouldn't have been sick during practice. He probably would have been in more reps, and maybe we could have got something. But
I do think he's going to play. I think we're going to have something special for him. I think he earned a lot of play time with that catch. Show the Lions that this preseason wasn't just a fluke. He's not just doing this on the backups. He can do this against the starters. And it's not like this was just, you know, a prevent catch where, you know, the Packers were playing off. Granted, they were that whole drive. But when we got to the red zone, you can't play prevent in the red zone. You know, they're not going to stand behind the goalposts. So it was tight coverage.
Add on for your T-Slaw real quick. Who does Ben Johnson know on our offense? Every single player. Who doesn't he know? Isaac T-Slaw. So it's like the one guy that he just doesn't know because he knows, I guarantee he's such an attention to detail type of guy. He knows every step that St. Brown and J-Mo and Laporta are going to take. And when they do take that first step, whether he can talk to his defense during the play, he knows what they're going to run. Maybe not T-Slaw. So it's like.
And Goff, one thing I think he needs to realize is when a team's playing good defense, how do you beat a good defense? You make a better throw. The best throw against the best defensive coverage, the throw always wins. If you put it right on the dude's hand, the defender has to make an insanely good play. And granted, sometimes they will make that play, but with guys like, you know, Laporta, Amon-Ra, J-Mo, who, you know, has kind of shown that he's not just the deep throw guy. He's got some decent hands. Let Amon-Ra go up, maybe not a jump ball, but throw it to the outside shoulder where this ball's either going out of bounds, incomplete, or Amon-Ra's making a spectacular catch, because we saw it on, I think it was the opening drive of the Lions, first or second one, where he had that phenomenal just toe drag on the sideline. Great catch, vintage Amon-Ra. And I think that's what we need to do, kind of just trust our playmakers more.
Yeah, it was week 1. We got a long season.
Absolutely. All right, enough of that bad game. Let's talk about actually one last thing. You guys want to know the real reason we lost that game? It was because I didn't have the magic pumpkin.
Bro, that was it.
Should have thought of it.
Get me the Lions pumpkin every year. That
is not last year's pumpkin, right?
No. That okay. They all eventually rot by like week 14. It's like maybe a little before, honestly, but I still keep it, rotted or not. I actually did have the pumpkin. I just didn't perform the ritual, and that is the rubbing of the pumpkin.
Gotta rub the pumpkin.
Give the good luck out, so we're all set.
You know, Adam cracking that boy open like week 8, start eating the seeds whole.
He's just eating the seeds whole.
Raw and whole pumpkin seeds.
He just got a spoon like it's a peanut butter jar. Just going to town.
All right, if the Lions, if we can win 2 playoff games, I will get a different pumpkin.
Okay, I was gonna be like, that's the grossest thing you're about to.
I would probably get very sick if I ate a 4-month-old.
Your mom's watching right now, like, Adam, don't you dare!
Yes, totally. Mom, don't worry. I'll be safe. Also, Michigan fans, I got you guys covered as well, so we're all set there. Let's talk a little Bears, though. We got Ben Johnson coming to town, a awesome home opener for the Lions. Honestly, boys, are you kind of surprised that this isn't any type of primetime game, 4 p.m., Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night? I mean, Ben Johnson was like the top coach for the last 2 years, then goes to divisional rivals, and they give us a 1 o'clock, which I'm I don't hate, but kind of thought they would.
To me, it's like, have you looked at our schedule? The Bears and the Browns are about the two worst teams we play. They're like the only two games that I couldn't see on. So no surprise to me. Get the old 1 o'clock BJ back home game.
Yeah, so we got the Bears. We saw them on Monday night, which was actually kind of nice. I gotta say, the Bears choking away that 17-6 lead. Granted, JJ looked a little bit better, or a lot better than he did in the first half. Kind of showed some promise, and Vikings are seeming like they're about to do what they did last year with Sam Darnold. And Nick, I'm fully with you on the Kevin O'Connell is like a amazing head coach. I thought he was a good head coach, but now I bought into that. He very well could be the best head coach in the North, in the NFC. His time will definitely come. Hopefully not with the Vikings, but we saw Ben Johnson kind of blow this game away. Granted, it was a little bit Caleb Williams not making throws. It was nice to see that Caleb didn't really make the next step. He kind of looks exactly how he did from last year. They didn't really add a whole lot of playmakers around them. They still have DJ Moore. Swift still has the inability to hit a hole head on. He just will dance around, try to bounce the outside. So hopefully, the Lions, I want them to do that. Just try to force Swift to make plays, and we'll dominate. Couple things on this game. It's obviously the Ben Johnson homecoming game, but I need any fan, any person listening to this, if you're going to the game, someone going to the game, tell them, boo this man as loud as possible. I want these boos to reign louder than the Matthew Stafford boos during the playoff game. I want Ben Johnson to feel what it's like to come into Ford Field as an opponent, because he had multiple seasons of watching his opponent struggle with this rocking stadium, especially in the playoff games. And if we could give him that would be great. And also Ben Johnson's first road game too. So new head coach might have a couple obstacles to get over. But Nick, what are some things, that I don't want to get into keys of victory right away, but what are some things like the most important things we got to clean up? Just the minor little details.
Yeah, containment on the edge and those edge rushers in general. Going into a game with 3 edge rushers is a tough feat, in my opinion, and just to step onto that field. And Caleb Williams has legs. He can move the ball fast. You need to contain him. As much as we want Hutchinson and Davenport to come away with 75 sacks this game, Chicago's not always the place that you need to get sacks. More so, you need to contain the edge. Just keep everyone in front. We know Swift can't pound the ball in the middle, so I am not worried about Tyreek or Reader. Like, I'm sitting Swift in a few of my fantasy leagues, but he can catch a ball. And if our linebackers are lackadaisical, they're going to find out that Swift can catch and is still fast. But if we can contain the edge, and that's Swift and Caleb, then I think we'll be okay.
100%. Julius, we talked about this a little bit before the show, but is this Bears game a must-win game?
Yes, it is. Just looking at our future early season schedule right there, my dog Kevin, back in it at Baltimore, at Cincy, at Kansas City. This game is low hanging win fruit, especially coming off a loss against Green Bay. Going 0-2, going into Baltimore would be pretty dark, to say the least. So I think we're clearly the better team. So if we lost, it would be a huge disappointment. Just like I said, it's a perfect bounce back game at home, must win.
And Chicago's coming on a short week after a tough loss. They're traveling. It's not far, but they are traveling. So it's like, if we don't win this game, boys,
all hell's going to break.
We have to beat Baltimore. And I do not want to be in a position where we have to beat Baltimore, because they might be 0-1. I think they're the second best team in the NFL. And that's just behind Buffalo.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, both of those teams, Baltimore and Buffalo, looked phenomenal. It almost kind of like brought a tear to my eye seeing like that's a championship offense. Both of those.
Yeah, but thank God both of them are in the AFC and they can duel out with each other over there. You know what I mean?
That's the good news. The Lions do make it to the Super Bowl. We're not going to have to take on both of them on that road.
Correct.
The Eagles, they didn't. I mean, they looked all right. Granted, Jalen Carter was out.
Yeah, that was crazy that Carter spit on Dak. That was crazy. But if Carter plays in that game, Javonte Williams doesn't score 2 touchdowns.
I agree. Yeah. But nonetheless, I don't see any true juggernauts. Nick just spilling his coffee.
Sure did. There's a hole in my mouth.
I don't see too many true juggernauts in the NFC. I know it's week 1. And, any team could go on a run, get hot week 6 and on. So it's kind of still too early to say. But no one really wowed me. Maybe the Packers, they're playing tonight. Do you guys think the Packers will be able to handle the Commanders at home?
Julius, you want to give an answer on that?
Yeah, just the way they played against the Lions, I would imagine the Commanders have their own set of worries to worry about. I don't know. The Packers, I'm just not a Jordan Love believer yet. I don't know. Even when they beat us like that, there's still something about the Packers that are fraudulent. So let's just see what happens in week 2, and let's come back to the.
Nick, I got a little question spinning off that. Would you rather see the Packers outright just dominate and just look even better than what they did? I know it's kind of weird to say, but it kind of makes you think, all right, maybe the Lions weren't that bad and the Packers just kind of took another step. Or would you rather see the Packers kind of struggle, get beaten down, they fall to 1-1, but then you're thinking, man, if that team destroyed the Lions, are the Lions, did they take a big step back?
I would go with the latter. I never want to see the Packers do good, even if it does mean what you're implying. 2 things about this game here tonight. One, the NFL is trying their best to keep this whole 27-year-old Green Bay Packer quarterback thing alive. They gave him 2 straight home field advantage games against 2 ex-playoff teams, one of which they make one of them travel on a short week to Green Bay. NFL's really up Green Bay's butt right now. But anyways, do you guys remember the Lions flu or the Dan Campbell flu last year? Remember what that terminology is? Every time a team played the Lions, they lost the following week.
Right, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Do I think that was just a last year thing? No. Do I think just because Green Bay beat us pretty good and laid a little bit of a shellacking on us that motif goes away? I don't think so. Give me the Commanders on the road today, 28-27 Commanders.
Like that, yeah. I'm kind of with you there, Nick. Even if, the Packers...
Well, wait, I'm sorry. The Honolulu flu. That's what it was called.
Yes, the Honolulu
flu. Oh, yeah.
I'm hoping this trend continues. I can never root for the Packers. Actually, kind of same thing with all division rivals. So going back to that Bears-Vikings game, who are you guys rooting for? Because I think the Vikings are kind of more of a threat. But, man, I did not want to see Ben Johnson go out, win his first game, look good, or any type of Ben Johnson, celebratory.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Adam. I'm pretty much celebrating all Bears losses. The same way I'm celebrating all Packers losses. I don't really care about the Vikings, if that makes sense. They can, win 14 games and be right there with us in a division race like last year, and I still wouldn't care.
I think Kevin O'Connell's an amazing coach. I think the Vikings are going to win 13 or more games this year. Wow. And I was still rooting for them to win that game. I think it'll be really funny if Ben Johnson ends his Chicago Bears tenure with the worst winning percentage than Matt Nagy. And I think it'd be really funny if Caleb Williams finished his Chicago Bears tenure with similar stats to Trubisky.
I mean,
so I've already seen a couple references between the two for Caleb and Trubisky. And Trubisky's has better stats. I still think Caleb Williams is a much better quarterback than what Trubisky was at this time in his second year, but like, I don't know. I'm just saying, I think it'd be really funny for history to repeat itself and the Bears just continue to not be able to find a quarterback. I love, it's almost like I never want to see a Canadian team win the Stanley Cup ever again, just because I love that storyline every single year. Is like, oh, is Calgary or Edmonton going to do it this year? And it's like, no, it's a team that's right next to the equator that's going to rock your world. Sorry, dude. I don't know what to tell you. So that's kind of how I'm all about it. Screw the Bears. I want them to lose every game. 0-17 would be hilarious. Even if I had to choose, like the Bears go 0-17, but the Vikings go 17-0, or they both go 9-8, I would pick the Bears go 0-17 and the Vikings go 17.
I don't agree with you, honestly. Like, I want to see Ben Johnson, I want the roller coaster to be going down fast. I want that ship to sink. We kind of already saw it, and I think Bears fans are already on a tight leash with him, even after week 1. I don't know if you guys were watching.
It's crazy, by the way. Chicago Bears fans need to have some patience because he is a good player.
Him at the end of that game, and granted, they had the game right in their hand, up 17-6 in the fourth quarter, but Ben Johnson made a poor challenge, didn't know how to didn't figure out how to make a kick not run off any clock when he could have just told the kicker to kick the ball off the stand.
That was really bad too.
Or just kick it out of bounds. It's Cairo.
We don't know that he didn't tell his kicker to do that, and his kicker may have just flunked it. Wasn't it Santos? Didn't he already miss a kick in that game too?
Apparently, Ben Johnson said he wanted him to kick it out of the back of the end zone.
So he may have just missed it. I'm not going to try to put that on BJ if he did want that, But I don't know.
It's tough to kick it out of the back of the end zone, I will say. Jake Bates makes it look easy. But
doesn't he?
Kickers kind of don't really practice this anymore. It's all designed that you want to kick it right in that zone, try to either have him return it to get to the 20-yard line, or if it bounces, I don't know what the exact rule is, but if it bounces, then goes in the end zone, it's on like the 20 or something like that. But nonetheless, kick returning and kicking has become much more important. Nice that we have Jake Bates. He looked solid. And believe it or not, Jake Bates had more tackles than Aiden Hutchinson in that Packers game. Which was
on the flip side, though, we had Grant Stewart and Jalen Sailors returning our kicks. It was egregious. We have some of the best players. Why is our 5th string running back and 3rd string linebacker returning kicks? I get it for preseason. Cool. No. Put Leaf back there on kick and punts, or give me St. Brown, or give me Jay. I don't care. Dude, if we're going to be returning the ball 10 times a game because our defense is going to allow a bunch of points, then we can't have Jalen Sailors returning that.
I need Tisla returning kicks, man.
Tisla would be great returning. Exactly.
Rookie, get your feet wet, take some of these, big hits, kind of, get a feel to the game. Also, I don't know how much it does help catching a kick opposed to a pass, but I'm sure it's a little bit catching the football.
Tisla and Vaki, those who need to be returned. Once Vaki gets back healthy, he better be our return man in the kick. But honestly, it should be Leaf. Leaf is a great punt returner. What I don't really get the difference of the punt return and the kick return. I mean, I've never returned in the NFL, so maybe there is a huge difference, left tackle, right tackle. But if Leaf can be as dominant to a point where during the game they were they better not punt to Leaf Raymond. He's the only way the Lions can score some points today. He's so good that the announcers even are you might not want to do that, dude. Put him returning kicks. What are we doing, dude? It's egregious, man. Grant Stewart's hair is beautiful. I don't need to see it flying. Go ahead.
Any concern that Leaf, has maybe lost a step due to age and the injury he had last year? Because I want to say it was a broken ankle that he had, or it was something to do with the leg. It wasn't an ACL or anything crazy like that, but it was something decent, which
Julius got to see him right up front and close in person this year. Julius
I didn't see him running routes and stuff, but I got to meet him, talk to him.
Was he limping?
No, he wasn't limping. He wasn't. But I wasn't. I feel like they were doing a good job of hiding it, even though I might have noted at the time that Amon-Ra St. Brown was flexing his knee a lot. That was right after his surgery. But I didn't really see Khalif Raymond. But you might be right at him. At his size and age, he's in a contract year. Might just not be the same Khalif Raymond from
was a foot injury too. So I don't know if it was a stress fracture or something. I don't think it was a broken ankle. They just my Googled it. It said foot injury that put him on IR. So
Father Time is undefeated, and at one point he is going to maybe lose step. And if that's the case this year, it makes me think, beep, I wish I would have had Tim Patrick as
unless you're Derrick Henry.
Yeah. Oh, unless you're Derrick Henry. So he is. He's going toe to toe with Father Time right now.
And that's talking about Lions, Ravens. That's going to be a fun one to break down. And so we play Ravens week 3, right?
Yeah, next week.
If we can beat the Bears, handle the Bears, a 2-score victory, and we can beat the Ravens, you're going to see everyone back on the bandwagon, and it's going to go great. But now, if we lose to the Bears, you're going to see all hell break loose. 97-1 will be unlistenable, and we'll be going to Baltimore to take on the Ravens, which they'll be, I doubt they lose the Browns this week, so they'll probably be 2-1.
Yeah.
But while we're waiting on Julius, Nick, let me hear your 3 keys to victory. There certainly is plenty to get from this game, but what are the 3 that maybe not most important, but the 3 that you are focused on the most?
Well, I will tell you, I came ill prepared for this because I thought it was just 1 key to victory for all 3 of us. But if I'm given all 3 keys, then
oh no, you're exactly right. I don't know why I said 3 keys.
I was like, I can probably make a couple up.
It's been a minute since I hosted, but
just score more points. Don't let them score a lot of points. Those are the first 2 keys, and then I'll get to my big key that I've been thinking about actually. No, I'm gonna. I have already touched on it, and I'm gonna go back to it. It's this containment. Oh my God, Nick, stop talking about it. We already heard you talk about it. I'm going to continue to emphasize this is we know that DJ Reader and Aleem McNeil, or no, not Aleem McNeil, soon, but not soon enough, Tyleek Williams will shut down Swift in the run game. I am not worried about that. I am not really worried about sacking Caleb Williams a ton. I would like to get pressures on him. Make them a little flustered, make them kind of jog and throw the ball. We've seen him even on Monday night overthrow his wide receivers, but we've also seen him throw spot on dimes. So it's like I want to force the bad Caleb Williams into this game and not leave him time. Ben Johnson knows our defense very, very well. He went against it over and over and over again in practice, so he knows what he wants to do. He has a very good game script. But if we can fuck that game script up early, then it's all gets out of whack. If we can mess them up on the first 2 drives, which is something that the Lions are very bad at, going back in the Dan Campbell era, we seem to a lot of the time allow a first possession touchdown to the opposing team in the first possession of the first half and the first possession of the second half. We cannot do that. If we go in there and screw with them on the first possession, throw them off for the second possession, there is a chance we can have a solid 10-0 lead at the end of the first, and that's what we need to do. But to get to that situation and that position, we have to contain Caleb Williams. We cannot allow him to beat us with his feet. That's the whole game, but especially to start. So my big key is containment.
All right, Julius, we're doing keys to victory. What is your key number 2?
Key number 2 for me is 4.0. That's how many yards per carry the Lions need to try to average against the Bears in order to win the ball game. Because let me tell you what, if they average 2.1 again, the Lions are going to be 0-2. Because without our run game being a threat, our offense is toothless per se. So to me, that's number 1. We got to get the run game going against them. There's no way we win this game without Gibbs or Montgomery or both of them having taking a sizable chunk out of the Bears defense so we can get our play action finally rolling. So I would say the run game is my key to victory.
And you took that one right from me because I was about to say the run game too. Montgomery and Gibbs have fared well. I just wrote, and in the process of writing an article on my 5 bold predictions of this game, one of which is I think we're going to see 200 total yards between Monty and Gibbs. They have fared quite well against the Bears. Gibbs averages 76 rush yards per game with a few more add on with receiving. Monty averages right around the 50 to 60 mark as well. Both have playmaking abilities. Monty more so the bruiser, Gibbs more, the sonic aspect. But yeah, I'm with you on that, Julius. I think we need to just run the ball, run it down their throats, control the game, and fluster Ben Johnson. But since you took that key, I will pivot and I'll go with the secondary. I think we need the secondary, the DBs to step it up. We did see Brian Branch have a damn near pick six, which was just the most egregious double penalty call. It would have been called back even if it was, because of a stupid little, shove on Jordan Love, even though the refs didn't call Frankie Lavuvu just blowing up Goff in the playoff game. And the other one was, the Rocky Sin hold, which was it was a ticky-tacky hold. I mean, you sometimes see it called, you sometimes don't. It was just lame. Negated a pick six, which would have been a massive turning point. Honestly, I think if that would have been a pick six, the Lions
win the game.
Yeah, we might have been able to squeak it out there. And but matter of fact is we didn't, ended up losing whatever in the past. We're on the Bears. I need Terrion and DJ Reed to have, step it up. Everyone raved about Terrion, from Calvin Shepard to when I talked to Kirby Joseph. He was the first person he said that was standing out. A lot of people were talking about Terrion, saying this dude's going to be the real deal. And, granted, he kind of went out, and I think to start the second half with a groin injury, so didn't get a whole lot of play time, but he was burned on a couple plays. And then Kirby, he was kind of, non-existent, and, DJ Reed just didn't really play the best. So I need the DBs to step it up. I would like to see maybe one of those, Brian Branch blitz off the ends, just an unexpected blitz. And if the Lions, can't get a good pass rush, start blitzing some of the DBs, some of the safeties. I'm totally fine with, Terrion coming in on a blitz, which I don't think we saw that once last year. I think Carlton did it a couple times. But DBs got to step it up. And the good thing is they absolutely can. We saw Kirby and Brian Branch have both made – has Branch made the All-Pro? Was he a second team last or 2 years ago? I think he might have been. Nonetheless, Branch, phenomenal. Kirby, All-Pro. Terrion, first rounder. And then DJ Reed, a standout cornerback for the Jets last year, kind of our veteran guy. So defensive backs need to take over, need to lock down. If we can't get pressure from the defensive line, the other way to do it is lock up the wide receivers and get a pressure sack, because Caleb's going to be trying to zig and zag and dance and spin and twirl and try to create as much time as he can. And even if he just throws the ball away, shaking, two defenders, I'll take that. So defensive backs, good coverage. Nick, I'll pass it over to you for our Lions MVP, our offensive MVP, defensive MVP, and score prediction.
And real quick, just to answer your question, Kirby Joseph was an All-Pro last year with St. Brown, Sewell, and Jack Fox, first-team All-Pro.
No. So I knew Kirby was, but Brian Branch.
Oh, Brian Branch. Oh.
I thought he made, not last year, but the year before that, I thought he made second team.
He may have. He may have. It's funny because I just went to look that up in Google, and I just realized I typed in Kirby Branch, too. Anyways, let's talk about our fun predictions game last week. It was brutal. It wasn't good at all. We all predicted the Lions to win. They didn't. We all predicted the Lions.
It wasn't all pro. So
Pro Bowl. Gotcha. Not as cool as y'all. We got rattled. We went with offensive MVPs. I went with Goff. Gibbs went to Julius, and Adam selected JMO. Of the three, Goff won our point, I guess, but that's ruthless to say. Even worse is on defense. Julius took Hutchinson. He didn't even get a tackle. What was it? Jake Bates had more tackles than he did, which is rough, dude. Adam took Kirby. He had one tackle, the same amount as Jake Bates. Brian Branch had 4 tackles, an egregious penalty where he threw the helmet of a Packer. Like, you need to be smarter and better than that. You cannot do that. And then he had a pick 6, but it was called back. So I got 2 points. Adam and Julius got 0. Adam's going to be picking first. Julius will be picking second. I'll be picking third. Adam, why don't you lead us off, brother?
All right, offensive MVP. I talked about this a minute ago. Julius also talked about it. Julius, you stole my guy last week. I'm going to steal him right back. I'm going to go Jahmyr Gibbs with offensive MVP. He had the worst game of his NFL career, yards per carry wise, 9 carries, 19 yards, 2.1 on the ground. That's just not Jahmyr Gibbs. Last year, he had 4 games, just 4 games, averaging under 4 yards per carry. So he was damn near above 4 yards per carry every single game. If it was the Bears, if it was the Packers, whoever. But Gibbs, we know this dude is a top 3, most likely top 1 running back with a good offensive line, but with a banged up offensive, well, not banged up, but not as good offensive line as the previous year. He might take a little step back, but I still believe he's a top 3 running back regardless. So Jahmyr Gibbs, I got him going for 100 rush yards, little value bet there for any of the fans out there, and a touchdown. My defensive MVP, see, I want to pick Hutchinson, but the Packers double teamed him damn near every play. They completely schemed Hutch out of this game. Very smart to do. Now, I'm not sure if the Bears will do that. I'm not sure how much Ben Johnson, kind of not believes in Hutch, but is concerned of Hutch. I wonder if his ego will get a little ahead of him and think, yeah, we can, take this guy one-on-one, Darnell Wright, go at it. And if that's the case, Hutch is going to eat him up. But I'm not going with Hutch. I am going to go with Brian Branch, the guy that won it for you, Nick, last week. I think Branch has another good game. Had a near pick 6, looked solid. I think he comes out fierce and ferocious, making big plays. And I think this whole Lions team just comes out juiced, especially being back at home, back in Ford Field. The fans are going to be rocking. So give me Branch for defensive MVP. And score prediction, I think we handled the Bears. I go 2-score victory. I'm going to go 28-13. Yes, 28-13 Lions.
Love it. Julius, you're up. No Gibbs, no Branch.
So offensive MVP, I am going to go with my main man, Mr. $67 million guaranteed himself, Jameson Williams, Waymo himself. He's going to have to break out one of these games after that contract. I really thought it would be week 1, but we mentioned the targets. I think he gets more than 3 targets this game. I think he gets double that, and he takes it for a score, maybe 2 TDs. Ooh. But defensive MVP, I appreciate you, Adam. I'm going my dog Hutch. You know what I'm saying? If he going to break the sack record, got to start sometime. Great time to start against Chicago at Ford Field Sunday. Hey, 4-sack game for my boy Hutch. Lions victors 34 to Bears 20.
34-20 Lions. All right, then I'm going to take the Lions to win. I'm going to take a lower scoring game than you guys. I'll take 23-20 Lions. Nope. No Gibbs, no JMO, just like last week. I probably should take Goff here. ASB, I got to think about Ben Johnson. What's he going to do on defense? Who's he going to send out there? Call me crazy. I'm taking Sam Laporta.
Hey.
2-tutty Laporta is what I'm calling for.
He was really the offensive MVP last week.
Yeah, for sure. I should take T-Slaw. Shit. Mayotron. All right, and then defensive MVP took Branch, took Hutch. I'll take Kirby. See if he can get. Actually, no. I'm taking Anzalone. Quick switch.
Anzalone also should have had an interception as well.
Right through his hands. So recap: Adams, Lions 28-13, Gibbs and Branch, Julius, Lions 34-20, JMO and Hutch, Nick, Lions 23-20, Laporta and Anzalone. Good luck to all. Thanks for playing.
All right, boys and girls, I think that's going to do it for us tonight. We got Tigers playing in, half hour-ish. We got some Thursday Night Football. Let's go Commanders. As always, check us out on X at Honolulu Blues _. Check us out on YouTube. Give us all that like, subscribe. Also, check me and Nick out on Roundtable. We've been writing some stuff for them over there. Post some good articles. They got all sorts of stuff. Lions, Michigan, Michigan State, Pistons, Red Wings, Bears. Oh my, Bears actually too. But check us out there. If you guys see any of our articles posted, feel free to read them. Let us know what you think. We love all the comments and advice. And as always, go